Today, we're going to talk about the relationship between decimals and fractions. So we have to be able to convert decimals to fractions and go backwards fractions to decimals. So here we go. The first type is easy. If I have a decimal, let's say I have a decimal 4.6. To convert it to a fraction, all I have to do is say it out loud in my head. 4.6 means 4 6/10. So you have to know your place value. Then I just have to simplify it. So my 4 stays. I simplify my 6/10. 2 divides into both the numerator and the denominator. 2 and the 6, 3. 2 and the 5, 10. I get 4 3/5. All right, let's say I have another one. 5 decimal point 08. I think about what it means in my head. This is equivalent to 5, and I have 8 what? First decimal place is tenths, then it's hundredths. So I have 5 and 8 hundredths. All fractions have to be simplified. So my 5 stays. They're both even numbers. I can divide 2 into both, or I can see that 4 goes, and I can go 4 into 8, 2, 4 into 125. And I get 5 2/25. Make that just a little darker. We'll do another one. Let's say I have 0.75. I have 75 what? You have to think. Tenths, hundredths, or thousands. I have 75 hundredths. I simplify. I could start with 5, but I see that 25 goes into both the numerator and denominator. So 25 into 75 is 3. 25 into 100 is 4. My answer is 3/4. All right, one more. Let's say I have 3.005. I got to change the decimal to a fraction. I just have to remember to say it out loud in my head. This is 3 and 5, but it's tenths, hundredths, thousandths. So this is 5 thousandths. So now I have to simplify. 5 into 5, 1. 5 into 1,000. I get 3 and 1/200. So changing to a decimal to a fraction would be easy. You just say it out loud, simplify the fraction. Fractions to decimals, just a little harder. Let's say I have 3/5. This fraction bar always means divide. This means 3 divided by 5. So I have to know what goes into what. An easy way not to mix it up. It's 3 divided by 5. So you just don't lift anything up. Change this to a division sign. So now I have 5 into 3. 5 is too big for 3. Every whole number has a decimal point at the end. I add a 0. They didn't tell me to round, so I just got to keep going if I need to. Bring my decimal point up. I get a 6. 6 5s are 30. I'm done. So 3/5 equals 6/10. We'll do another one. Let's say I have 4/8. Now I have a choice. I could do it the same way, make my division sign, and go 8 into 4. Or I can see that I can simplify this fraction first. So if I simplify it first, it might make the division easier. So I would go 4 into 4, 1. 4 into 8, 2. So 4/8 is a half. You might already know that a half is 0.5, but if you didn't, I would divide 4 into 1. Every whole number has a decimal point after. Add a 0. No decimal point on the outside. I bring it up. 2 times 5 is 10, so 1/2 is equivalent to 0.5. Let's say I have another one, 3/4. So now I got to divide the 4 into the 3, put my decimal point. 4 is too big for 3. I have to add a 0. I bring my decimal point up. 4 into 30 is going to be a 7. I multiply. 4 7s are 28. The rule is subtract, bring down. I subtract. I have a remainder, so I have to add a 0. I got to keep going. 4 into 20 is 5. So I have 4 5s are 20. So I'm going to get 3/4 is 0.75. So let's see. We'll do one more here. Let's say I have 5/8. Have to divide 8 into 5. I'll start with 1 0. I get a 6. 6 is 48. Subtract. I'm not done. Add a 0. Bring it down. I get a 2. 2 8s are 16. Subtract. Still have a remainder. Add a 0. 8 into 40 is 5. 5 8s are 40. So my answer is 0.625. Hi, I just want to continue and do 3 more examples. Let's say I have 4 ninths. I divide 9 into 4. Every whole number has a decimal point at the end. 9 doesn't go in the 4, it's too big. I add a 0. So now, no decimal point on the outside, I bring it up. 4 9s are 36. Subtract. Have a remainder, I'm going to add a 0, bring it down. I'm going to get a 4. I get 36. Subtract. Still have a remainder. Add a 0, bring it down. 4 9s are 36. Now, you can see that this is repeating. So, my answer would just be 0.4 with a bar on top. Let's say I might have one where the question says round, because we haven't been told to round. So if we're not told to round, it's going to come out even. It says round to nearest hundredth. So I have 2 7ths. I divide. After every whole number is a decimal point, bring it up, add a 0. I'm going to get a 2. I multiply. 2 times 7 is 14. Subtract. Have a remainder. I'm going to add a 0, bring it down. I get an 8. 7 8s are 56. Subtract, I have a remainder, so I'm going to add another 0, bring it down. So now I start to think. Before I do my division, it says round to the nearest hundredth. So to round to the nearest hundredth, I can't stop. I have hundredths, but that's not the answer. To round to the nearest hundredth, I have to look in the hundredths column. I have to look to the right. If this is 5 or more, I raise it. Otherwise, I don't. So I have to do one more division. So 7 into 40 is going to be 5. 5 7s are 35. So now I can stop because I went the 1 extra. I look in the hundredths column. I look to the right. This is 5. So I raise this. So my answer is 0.29. We'll do one more type. The last example, I want to convert a mixed number to a decimal. So let's say I have 3 1/3. I can do it 2 ways. I could keep my 3 and just convert the third. So if I convert the third, 3 into 1, bring my decimal up, I get a 3. 3 times 3 is 9, subtract, have a remainder, I'm going to add a 0. 3 3s are 9, subtract, I can see that that's a repeater. So 1/3 equals 0.3, and it repeats. But I can't forget this 3. So my final answer has to be 3.3, and that repeats. Or I could take my 3 1/3 and I could change it to a improper fraction. 3 times 3 is 9 plus 1, and make this 10/3. Then I can divide my 3 into my 10. 3 times 3 is 9, subtract, add a 0. 3 times 3 is 9, subtract. So I get 3.3, which repeats. It's up to you. On this one, it really doesn't matter, but if I had to convert 25 and 2/5, instead of multiplying 5 times 25 and adding 2 and getting this big number, I would just convert to 2/5. So we'll do the last one. If I convert 2/5, I divide 5 into 2. I get a 4. 4 5s are 20. So it's pretty quick. The thing is, I got to remember not to forget the 25. So my answer is going to be 25.4. That's it.